Hey, how's it going? My name is James P. White, and I've got to quit doing that. Okay, no, but this is
All
still
right.
part of the intro. This is still part of the intro. Okay, yes,
Okay.
I'm James P. White, and I always want to say of 95.7 Cruise FM. I was with Cruise FM for 8 years. Actually, it was nine this week. We're going to get into that a bit later. But I'm so used to saying I'm James P. White from the locker room on 95.7 Cruise FM that every time I open my mouth on camera, I say it. It is annoying as hell. I apologize to everybody, and especially to my friend Mooney, who's heard it every podcast. And that is my buddy Chris Mooney. He is what most people call a real estate guru. I just call him an asshole, but that's Chris Mooney. This is the Bald and Short of It podcast, and we are live. For those who haven't seen behind the scenes, we've been working on trying to get this thing started for half an hour now, and we're already three drinks in, and we are just starting. So this is going to be an entertaining podcast. So as we do every week, we always start out our podcast with what was your week like this week? Mooney, let's start with you.
Well, first of all, I got to tell you, like you said, nothing to it but to do it. I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be here than talking nonsense with my good buddy Jimmy. So good to see you, pal. This week was like it's always a long weekend, but holy cow, um, we have in my extended group of friends, like mostly from my fraternity. Um, we had a couple fellas that come every summer that are no longer living in Edmonton, but always come back to visit family and friends. And one of them is a fellow from Cozy from Japan, and he's here for a few weeks because he always comes to visit his folks, and he's got obviously his immediate and extended family. And my other buddy Serge, he comes every long weekend, and we always make sure we got lots of stuff planned. So that was no different this weekend. Um, we went River Cree Friday. I we went on my boat on Saturday. We had a barbecue at my place Saturday, and then Sunday we went to another fellow's house who made steaks, and it's just crazy, like the bond that we have. All these guys. I mean, like I won't even tell you how many years, but it's a lot. And just talking to guys you haven't seen in a while. Most of these guys I see pretty regular, but a few guys come just to see everybody and catch up and just talking about, oh, I was in this town and I called a buddy and he refused to let me stay at a hotel, or another guy local here, his kid's interested in engineering. He's already been accepted to the U of A, Calgary, Saskatchewan, and he's not sure which type. And we know we have buddies, brothers from our fraternity or engineers in Calgary. He's like, yeah, he's going for some interviews. He's staying with one of the guys who's an engineer and talking to other guys. And it's just, I could literally go to any town in North America that has a chapter and stay there. But more importantly, is like the bond I share with all these guys that we did all that through. And you hung out with us, Jimmy. Like that was a fun time, huh?
Yeah, we'll get into that after we talk
Okay,
into the week
okay.
because you've
I'll leave it
you've
at
had
that. I got
something
some
you've
guts.
had something on the content. Like we do try to come up with some ideas of what to talk about. And
Sure.
you've had this on here for a while on the fact that I meet your friends for 10 minutes and me and your friends just hack on you the whole time. And just how easy it is to do that. So we'll get into that a bit later
Yeah.
because
Okay. Okay. I got one other thing to say. Like, I had a great week, all told, anyway. But one other thing that I did that every single time I do it, every summer, I say, how come I don't do this more often? It's always awesome. I had another buddy had tickets to the Riverhawks baseball in the River Valley. And we went to that on Thursday, and as usual, it never fails. It was absolutely fantastic, a beautiful night. The location of that venue and that ballpark is just spectacular.
I've been
With the
there.
sound,
I love that
yeah,
place. I
and
used to work events there when they were the Trappers way
yeah,
back in the day.
they're breaking attendance records for their West Coast League. They already did over 100 grand for this season by last Wednesday, and the product is fantastic. The food is reasonably priced. It's all craft beer, mostly Alley Cat, which is great. Um, and I mean, like I said, the views and the product on the field is great. We just I can't say enough about every time I go there, and I really ought to go more often. There aren't that many games left, but they're like first in their conference. I'm pretty sure there'll be some playoff games, and if there are, I highly encourage anybody listening to definitely check that shit out because
And the
it's
field
awesome.
is second to none. It's an amazing venue. I've been there for other events. It's a well-run field. Their staff is phenomenal,
Yeah.
and their beer tastes great, um,
You know,
as it should.
one quick thing about that ballpark. Uh, they were the Trappers were AAA, which is the highest league level above Major League Baseball for a lot of years, almost 30, I think, maybe at least 20. And during the course of that time, they actually built the new stadium, the one that's there now. It used to be Renfrew Field, I think, Renfrew, and then it became John Ducey before sponsorship and all that stuff. But when it was built, and we're talking about all North America, it was considered one of the best or the best minor league ballpark in North America. Now it's got some years on it now and some miles, but it's still a great place to watch a game.
Oh, it's and I love the place. The staff there is awesome. Um, and we talked about Commonwealth Stadium. The staff at Commonwealth is awesome as well. But I digress. It's
The
they.
emergency staff at Commonwealth is Jimmy can attest to. They're second to none. Good. The first responders. Yeah. I'm
But
sorry, buddy.
I also used to be staff at Commonwealth Stadium. I was a ticket taker for 6 years or 7 years, something like that. But my week has been kind of weird. I'm gonna get into the highlight of my of last week. But as some people know, like as I started with a bit of my rant at the beginning of the podcast, is the fact that I am not totally employed. I have a part-time job. I'm only getting limited hours. I'm I'm trying to find jobs. Finding one is difficult. I'm trying to figure out how to get supplementary income from EI at least to help cover the bills. There's so much paperwork and all this stuff, and so many hoops you have to jump through. And then you talk to one person and they tell you one thing, and then you talk to somebody else and they tell you another. It's just like so. There was some frustration there this week. Just so you know, on this podcast, we don't sugarcoat it. If we have a bad week, if shit's gonna go, if like I like to talk about it because maybe there's something I'm doing wrong that someone can suggest. Hey, maybe you should try this. Like I'm always like if you ever listen to our radio show, one thing I didn't do well as an adult is adulting. I went
Isn't that
I
like
went 10
everything?
no
One thing I
like
didn't do as an adult is adulting. So one thing
like
about being an
like
adult
I went
isn't everything about
okay
being an
I
adult adulting.
true but I did the drinking part well. Um like like I went 10 years without doing my taxes. I like there was just a bunch of things that I don't do well. And okay, we got to write that down. That we have to talk about. Yeah, isn't everything adulting? Um, so yes, but there was a highlight this week, uh, and a really good highlight this week, which is the fact that at the wrestling show this week, Monster Pro Wrestling, the we had the tag team tournament, and the Pirate Party, are now the tag team champions of Monster Pro Wrestling. You missed a bunch of great matches this weekend, and it was fantastic. And as always, I bit my way to the top. I In one of the matches, I did bite
you,
somebody in the ass.
you bit your way to the bottom.
That too, because with the bites in the first match, we did win. and I was just defending my guy, and the easiest way is to bite somebody in the ass. And yeah, it's like if you haven't been to the Monster Pro Wrestling, and Chris can attest to it, it's a fun time. You see kids lose their mind. It's so much fun when you see like a 5-year-old say swears that they're not allowed to say anywhere else at the bad guys in wrestling. Like my favorite part is one of the main guys, Massive Damage. Um, I was watching part of the match, and there was kids, 7, 8 years old, yelling "massive pussy, massive pussy," and just yelling it. And it's just like you you can be crazy at a wrestling match because everybody that's wrestling is not normal. And we have fun. You can make fun of us all you want. Like you've seen me used as a battering ram. You've seen me bite people. Um, and I have clips of me where I was actually in a match where I jumped off a 2-step ladder on someone, hit people in the head with pans and stuff. It's I love it. It's fun. You get to be a kid and be a wrestler at the same time, and when when I was a kid and with WWE and all that kind of stuff, we talked about it a bit last week. With the passing of Hulk Hogan, like he was the guy that everybody wanted to be, and it's you learn how to act, you learn how to have fun, you learn how to work as a team. And yes, it was a great match, and yes, the Pirates are champions, and yes, Half Sack is now part of a championship tag team.
You
That's
can't take that away from you.
no, you can't. The only way you could is if your fat ass got in the ring, and then
Well, I know in your case, like the one thing, about like with about people with that wrestle that you're not that like you've always kind of had a trouble with is wrestling.
what do you mean?
uh, we that you just catapulted first 10 minutes of this episode, man. With that adulting, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna post game show it, but Jimmy, with regards to the wrestling, we were talking on Sunday. Uh, there's a big one coming up. So typically, Monster Pro Wrestling, it's the first Friday of every month at Alberta Avenue Community
Yeah,
Hall. But there's a special event coming up on the 30th. Is
uh,
that right?
it's on the 30th, so it's the Saturday, and it's at Alberta Avenue Community Center, Community Hall, and we'll talk about it as we get closer to the event. But this is an outdoor event, so every summer we always do one out just outside of the Alberta Avenue, and it's a they have a beautiful the grounds there, and it's just great doing it outside in the sunshine. And also like the Italian festival this summer. Um, I can't remember when it is. I didn't write it in the prep because I'm a moron. But we also we also do matches there.
Oh, but that's just like showcase stuff. It's not like a show.
No, it is like we have like 5 matches. It just spans
Oh,
throughout the
okay.
day.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, that's a great product, and I highly encourage anybody who hasn't been to check it out. This August 30th would be a great time to start. I'm going to do my best to be
Uh,
there.
uh, but here's a funny story on how I got started with MPW. Have I told you this?
I don't think so.
Okay, because
Hang on, though.
like
Like funny for everybody, or just like Jimmy funny, which is
it's funny for everybody. Okay, at least Locke and Grant found it funny. Actually, the Italian festival is a couple of days before. So it's at the Giovanni
Roboto.
Spato Park, which all day, like they have, like it's like there's food vendors. It's a great day. It celebrates the Italian community in Edmonton, and MPW is always we're doing matches. Uh, but so this is how I actually got started in MPW. We were like Massive Damage, who I'm good friends with now, knew Lachlan Cross, and with COVID, the industry was beaten up a bit, and so he wanted us to talk a bit about the wrestling on our show. And Locke's like, hey, he'd be a great part of your show. He could do announcing. He could be a like James loves doing this kind of stuff. So they invited us to one of the shows at the Alberta Avenue Community Center. Grant gets there before Locke and I, and as we're walking to the door, okay, some people might be offended by this conversation, but get over it. Grant comes running to the door. There's another fucking midget here. There's a midget here. There's like what the hell? And then we go and we get our seats and we're sitting there. I'm just on the side by this ring, and then Locke goes, he's coming. He's walking towards us. Holy shit! There's it's like, and then I hear Grant say to Locke, "Do they know each other?" And then because Bruce, like the guy saw me, and he goes, and walked right towards me. And then I'm like, and then we hug and we're like high fiving each other. We used to work together on the basketball team. Uh, you know,
Oh,
almost 20, only 20 years ago. He's still in the industry. He's still wrestling. But yeah, so we're sitting there and we're watching the show, and Bruce is kind of sitting near us, like kind of wandering around. And then Grant goes, "There's another one." And just over in the corner was another little person. He's never been back to the show since, the other guy, but I never knew him before. But yeah, the funny part was Grant had never seen so many midgets in one room, and there was only three, and he was losing it. It was probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
so this Bruce fella, like he wasn't part of the show. So at the time, no
No,
midgets
he
were part
he
of the
went
show.
he went there because he wants to wrestle. He's from Calgary, but he would come up here to wrestle. But he's too inconsistent. He does other wrestling gigs elsewhere.
Yeah, you were saying.
He
So
actually works for an American he does a lot of shows for an American company called the hey, again, don't be offended. That's the name of the company. The Midget Wrestling Warriors are out of the U.S. and that's what they go by. And he wrestles with them. He's in good shape. He's 20 years younger than me. Um, and he's got muscle. Um, and I've got Mooney. But
so
but yeah.
so that doesn't really explain how you got the gig. Because
No,
like
because then I was there, and then Massive took me to the back room, like to what we call the dressing room, and he goes, "Hey, do you want to come and do some stuff with us? I'm going to make you a manager of the clowns." I was Giant Jim, the manager of the clowns to start with, and then one of the clowns had a gambling addiction, and then so he gambled me away to Massive Damage. So then I ended up becoming. He bet. He says I'm going to win the match, and if I don't, you get Jimmy. And then Massive Damage got me as his equipment guy, and then it grew from there. But yeah, so I went to that event, and then Massive talked to me and he goes, "No, you need to come and do some stuff." And then we were talking about it on the show, and then I've been there. It's been over 3 years,
wow.
I think. Yeah, it's been over 3 years.
Well, it's a great product, like I said, and it's yeah, I'd highly recommend it to anybody who's even mildly curious. It'll be like the baseball. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you go and you'll have fun. You'll be like, wow, that was awesome.
But even if you're not into watching wrestling, crowd watching is like watching the crowd react to the stuff going on, the boos, the chanting, the like kids screaming obscenities in front of their parents and not getting in trouble. Like I remember when I started, I was with the clowns. I was a heel. So that's bad guy if you don't know the lingo. And I had a little kid call me a fucking midget. Like, you fucking midget, get away from him. Like, I could hear him behind me screaming. And yeah, it's so much fun being just cursed out by young kids. Okay,
That's awesome.
that's a lot. That was a lot for the start of um what did you do this week? Um
Yeah.
so in case you're wondering, everybody, this might be a long podcast because we're kind of rambling because we had technical difficulties and we drank a little bit more than normal to
we
start with.
we're kind of
Okay,
rambling.
me. Okay, so let's get into something different. Um
Like of all, like people, we all like to ramble a little bit, but you're probably not very good at rambling.
who I'm not?
Yeah, like of all the things involved with to ramble, you're the rambling part maybe not so good.
Sometimes you just I don't know where to go from here. Okay, so speaking of rambling, let's get into what happened in sports this week with Mooney. We always have that because Mooney is our sports guy, and there's a bunch of stuff that happened, like with former Oilers captain Jason Smith, and a few other things. Uh, what do you have to say?
Well, like I said a few weeks back, this is the time. Like if you're an Oiler or hockey fan, that things get quiet. That's where GMs typically try to go to the lake for a bit or get a few rounds in. Um, it's more housekeeping as opposed to roster building, like you see with UFA and the draft and all that stuff. So Oilers news is going to be kind of quiet. There's some peripheral Oilers news with Jason Smith. You can expand on that, Jimmy, but the former Oiler captain, in fact, longest serving Oiler captain and the captain of the team that made it to the Stanley Cup Finals in 2006, Jason Smith was just named coach of the WHL Edmonton Oil Kings, and it seems like a really nice fit. I read some of the articles. Jim Matheson had a really good article about that. And the team's kind of on the upswing now. Junior hockey is very cyclical, um, because really you only have the players, like the best players, for like 3 years. If you're lucky, four. But most overagers are utility guys, or they're already drafted and they start playing minor pro. Um, so the life cycle of a championship team in junior is very skinny. And if you're lucky, you kind of challenge every 3 or 4 years because you start getting drafted. You get shitty or high spot in the draft. I won't get into details. Anyway, last season was one where the Oil Kings made the playoffs. Um, and they were out in the first round. And I think the GM decided that a coaching change was needed because you're no longer rebuilding. Now the expectations are a little higher. And boy, for those of you that don't know, Jason Smith has a pretty impressive coaching pedigree now. Like he's coached in the WHL as a head coach, the AHL as a assistant coach. I believe the NHL as assistant coach of the Senators, and back here now as a head coach of the WHL Oil Kings. He sounded delighted to be here. I mean, he's going to have a hard time getting gas without people recognizing him and saying hi. And it's the right time for the team to get a new voice in the room. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works out this year. I'm sure that they'll continue on their path to getting better, and undoubtedly he'll be a big part of that.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think? do you think like the Oilers fans of the days when he was um part of the team here, do you think some of them will start going to Oil Kings games a little bit more with like will he be a crowd draw, do you think?
I don't know. I don't think so. To be honest with you, um, it's a
Because his
different
name
product.
is well known. If you
Yeah,
walk up to anyone and says Jason Smith to anyone like our age or people who have lived in Edmonton for longer than 10 years, they know who he is.
sure. I mean,
Like he
you
does
know,
have a name draw.
yeah, like we're a hockey mad market, big time. Always have been, and there isn't anybody that doesn't that's an Oiler fan that doesn't speak his name with reverence. But the 3 hour investment of going to an Oil Kings game, not to mention getting there in the winter and all that, it's a different product. It's mostly young families, and whether or not he puts a few more bums in the seats, I don't know. I mean, I think that's a little bit too speculative, if you ask me. But it might make a difference in the playoffs. You want to see the guy succeed, but people don't go to hockey games to watch the coach.
No, but also to see what the coach does. Because the same thing, as soon as we have changes in coaching here, like we've had it before, and then people go to see what the new coach is going to do, what the new GM's going to do, is they want to see the changes that they're going to make to see if it's worth. I think I at least think that the first half of the season will be people going there. This is just my personal opinion and I know nothing about sports, but some of it will be them going there to go, what's he gonna do?
Yeah,
Because he was a smart player, so he's gonna be a smart coach. You think?
yeah. He's got a lot of miles as a coach now, obviously, but I'm really happy for him. Longest serving Oilers captain in the franchise history, and led us to a Stanley Cup final. So I wish him all the best, and I'm knowing that if the coach is I'm sure he is every bit the competitor that the player was. You're going to see some success with that team.
Oh, 100%. And I think he has the potential to do it. And you've seen it when him play with him playing hockey. He has the heart, and he's just got to unify the team behind him.
Yep.
That's
Um,
the true sign of a leader is that you can have a team behind you.
yeah, of course. And I think it's going to be great. I think it's a great fit. Um, One more thing to talk about in the fall when hockey gets going. Um, the Eskimos lost again, and I'm going to leave it at that. Although I will say that Cody Fajardo, who stepped up to replace Trey Ford in the game before the one this past Saturday, looked okay, and he looked even better this time. I think he got close to a record for completed passes in a row, but this team just can't put it together, and we're running out of season. So I hope we see a better result this week. Blue Jays, uh, they're not on the heater that they were, but they're still doing pretty well. In fact, last night they beat the Colorado Rockies, who are like literally the worst team in baseball, 15-1. And before I caught up with you here, Jimmy, I was watching the beginning of Game 2 of this series with Colorado. They're in the Mile High State right now. They play there tonight, tomorrow. We shouldn't results won't be in yet, but I think it's a pretty good bet that they beat them. We had the trade deadline for Major League Baseball come up. Well, Dalton Varshall's back in the lineup. Something to be excited about, Blue Jays fans, and he's looked good in the field. But we made a few trades at the deadline. Most notably, Shane Bieber joined them. He's a former Cy Young winner from 2020, I think. We got him from the the Cleveland Indians, and he's been out with. He had to get Tommy John surgery, but I think he's south of 30. So he's got a lot of miles left on the odometer, as long as the Tommy John recovery has gone well. He's been rehabbing in Buffalo, and he went, I think, 65 pitches, and he looked good. But we're talking about an ace if this guy can get back to form after Tommy John surgery. So that's kind of the big one.
Uh,
Um,
for for the fact that I'm an idiot when it comes to sports, was the Tommy John surgery?
so it's named after the first guy um, that got it, Tommy John. He was a Major League Baseball pitcher. And you can Google this, folks. I won't belabor it. But if you ever watch the mechanics of a Major League Baseball pitcher and what happens to his arm in the course of throwing a pitch, it's not natural. I mean, we're talking about you're like this and you're coming around, and it's not natural. So it's basically like a tendon replacement surgery in the mechanics of your elbow. Um, and it takes over a year to recover from. I think that Shane Bieber got his done April of 24, and we're August 25, and he might be active duty pitching in, like, I don't know, maybe a week, 2 weeks. But what an arm to get in your starting rotation if he's healthy. A footnote to that is that Shane Bieber of the Cleveland Indians, from the time he joined the majors, his nickname was not Justin. I shit you not. Like
He's
they
not
call
related to him at all, is he?
they call him Shane, not Justin Bieber. And wouldn't you fucking know it? I follow the Jays on X, and the Jays page just after the Bieber trade gets announced, they got a picture of Justin Bieber wearing Blue Jays gear or something, and I'm just like, you know, like I'm imagining somebody having a conversation with Shane Bieber. So Shane, not Justin Bieber, how do you feel about joining the Jays? What? And poor bastard. Like, Justin Bieber, please don't go to any games. Let the man pitch. Leave not Justin
Yeah.
alone.
Oh, could you imagine being him and then Justin Bieber shows up to a game and then a press conference with him would go, so how do you feel about Justin being here? Like,
I'm like, I just
like,
want to play baseball. I just want to play
yeah.
baseball. I just want to play baseball. I just want to play baseball. So I don't know, man. But that's the big news for the Jays, and I think they're going to continue a pace. I think as we speak, they're on top of the AL East division, which is arguably the toughest one in baseball by 3 games over the Red Sox now, who have come on. But that's baseball. One team might be on the top of the world one week and, like, like eating
'Cause
grass.
don't they play games like almost every day?
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
it's like at least 6 days a week.
yeah. And like you go and you do like 3 game series typically. Like baseball is composed of, like, so it's like a third of the travel, but they're 3 game series that you typically play, which I don't mind. But yeah, that's why they call them the boys of summer. I think on out, I might even be like speaking a little liberally here, but maybe one day a week where they don't have a game, uh, and a lot
But they're
sometimes.
traveling.
Yep, yeah, it's a grind, but you hear what some of these guys make, and it's like, okay, I think I can do that. Like
Like
Vlad, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s new contract that he signed just as the season was commencing. It was one of the highest in baseball. I mean, the highest is Shohei Otani, but let me just have a look here. Um, yeah, baseball reference. But yeah, he signed a pretty rich contract. He's basically a Blue Jay for life, which is great. If you're a fan, um, yeah. Let me see. I'm not even seeing it now. Damn it. Oh, here we go. Um, why don't I just Google Vladimir Guerrero contract? That's the thing about baseball. There's so many stats. Um, like, oh yeah, 14-year contract, $500 million. So 500 million divided by 14. Like, does my calculator have that many numbers?
Wow.
So he makes $35 million a year. And as much as we talk about the travel and all that, um, you know, it's from April. It's from the end of April, so May to the end of September if you haven't made the playoffs. End of October if you go to the World Series. So that's May, June, July, August, September, October. So you're working 7 months, not that many breaks, but you're making $35 million the whole year.
Okay,
I,
so this
okay,
is
it's
this
tough, but
is
I'd do it.
okay, this is totally not the same league. But back when I used to work with the Canadian Half Pints, so we were a little person basketball team, and we used to travel from September till June, and we
Wow,
would make, yeah, we'd go from September till June, and like you get Christmas off, obviously. Like, okay, going from September to June is whenever the kids are in school. So if
that's
like
9 months,
Christmas,
10 months if you
yes.
count. Yeah, fuck. Wow.
But then we'd have training camp in the summer to prepare for our next big tour because we'd have to practice our skits and stuff like that. So we'd go back to work, like technically the middle of August to rehearse our skits and plan our changes, whatever. But that's not where I'm going. It is the fact that traveling though, but we used to travel bus, like we were cars, minivans. We didn't do a lot of flying. I'm pretty sure they travel a lot more flying than we do, but we were Canada. But that still becomes quite long when you're living in hotels, staying like in eating in restaurants all the time and away from your family. Like I know when I traveled back then, I missed a family funeral because I couldn't get back in time. Um, which really bothered me immensely. And it was my auntie. Um, but the thing is, though, and we were making, we thought we were making a lot of money back in the day. We were being paid like 200-300 bucks a day, depends on like how busy your day was. But that's millions and millions of dollars that these assholes are playing, and I
You
had
don't
a
say
good message
assholes.
back.
Like fuck.
I no
I
no
mean,
I have to because we used to be positive influences on kids. Okay, so sorry, actually the vodka's kicking in. Um, but
no, like
yeah,
hang on,
it's
we need to clarify here. So you say you go by bus and you go you're you're not literally on the road from September to June. Like you don't spend
like
7 days a week at the Holiday Inn kind of thing.
oh no, yeah, we did. Like we'd go home in the summer and we'd be and then we'd get like 2 weeks off at Christmas.
So June, July,
So
August, you're at home, or July, August. I don't know, like,
yeah, it was July, August
and so
because
you're
we'd go
so
to
so what? You get on the bus, like wherever Calgary, wherever the hell, and you literally are living on the bus and hotels from September to June. Like you don't come home ever for Christmas or any shit like that.
no the Christmas we'd make it home and but other than that like we didn't.
But now you
The only time I ever visited home when I was traveling with the basketball team was when we were touring and we were near Tabor because
yeah.
we did shows in Lethbridge and Medicine Hat. So I'd go visit, like I'd hang out with my family for a day, but it wasn't like a week off. It
Yeah, and
was
and
okay. Yeah,
last year when or last week when you were talking about Newfoundland and doing that, like we're not talking about if it's not a million people or more, you're not going. It's literally any town in Canada. So you could there's
like we were staying
hundreds of
in
places you could go to, right?
like thousands. Like
Yeah.
we'd stay in towns that had a hotel That was also the bar and the restaurant and the liquor store. And so we stayed in the hotel that was all of the above, and then we'd go visit the school. Yeah, but you were hanging out the bar all night. Yeah, but
Yeah, we
my
hear
mom
that.
said they saw you at the bar. Okay, yes, we were at the bar,
When
but
I worked
it's
on the roads when I was in university, I stayed one time at the Sedgwick Motel and Burger Bar. but the road is, to some that haven't experienced it, it's like some people might think it's glamorous, it's exciting, there's something new every day. That grind, like our mutual friend Barak, like he worked on the road for long periods of time, and he's like, yeah, I was done after a while. Like,
and the thing is you're touring with the same people. Like we would switch out every once in a while if there was conflicts because somebody was banging somebody else's girlfriend, like while he was drunk somewhere or whatever. So you'd have switch outs, but the majority of the time we're hanging out with the same people, uh, staying in hotels and eating in restaurants. Like
did some of the guys on the team get upset when you started getting passed around, or?
you're a sick bastard.
Well, somebody won you in a gambling thing. I don't know. Like, I mean,
No,
it's not a
that was
we already
wrestling
talked
at
about the adulting.
MPW. That had nothing to do with the half pints. But 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 that but the thing is though is these guys make millions and millions of dollars to do that. But still, it's a grind being on the road that long, being away from your family, sometimes
Yeah,
not being able to make it home for weddings or funerals. Like the moral of the story is even though they're making a lot of money, they're still losing on some stuff. There's some
yeah.
personal,
Young
like
kids,
there is,
weddings.
yeah, like first steps or even births of their kids and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And like I'm not like they're being paid millions of dollars to do that. I actually have less sympathy for them than I would for someone who, is making $125 a day. Like, but
anyway,
I
like,
digress.
yeah, like you think about the wives if they have like a lot of kids or whatever, and um, I mean, school doesn't end on May 1st. There's still like another couple months of school with the wife having to handle all that, and then you got the summers and whatnot. And financial security is nice. Hey, you never have to worry about money again. But for 6 months, 7 months of the year, you don't get to see your kids. I don't know.
Yeah, it's but but a lot of these guys retire what 40.
Yeah, there's that. But then you've missed all those things, right? If you had a young family.
Okay,
Anyway,
so
that's the deal with sports. That's all the sporting I have for you this week. Um, um, and
our
yeah, I'm gonna
sports
keep
report included midgets.
yeah I'm gonna keep an eye on the Blue Jays. And I'll probably watch the Eskimos again. You know, but yeah, everything else we've got you covered, wall to wall, 5 by 5. Hey, what
Awesome.
were you talking about
Let's.
earlier with the vodka there, kid?
Oh, so I've kind of. I don't know if people know this about me, but over the last several months, because I drink a lot of beer, uh, is I've gained a lot of weight, and it annoys me from time to time. So I do get on a hard stuff kick, or like a vodka kick, or whatever. So right now I'm drinking nudes, which actually have less calories than a beer does, like almost half. And but I also do like I've been doing a lot of smoothies. So I bought a one of those little like midget bullet things, the ones
Yeah,
that like the little. So I bought one
Yeah.
of those, and I've been doing like I drink a lot of juices now, a lot of smoothies. One of my favorites is actually it's ginger. I do this every morning for breakfast. It's ginger, a little bit of cucumber, some lime, and then water, and you just blend the shit out of it. And actually, no, that one has honey, and then I have one that has mint. But it's like I have a couple of different recipes that I use, and they're so like I had the one, and it was with the cucumber. I had so much energy. It was almost like Red Bull, but there was no caffeine. Like it was awesome. Like I was doing like I was just running
Did
around.
you like
And
replace something with that? Like there's something you usually do that you didn't do, or like I'm replacing, I don't know, like a tall boy, or or like
no,
a
but so the non-alcohol, the non-alcohol, I was replacing pop because I drink a lot
oh,
of
okay,
pop. So I've
like
been
sugar
replacing
pop,
pop.
like not Diet
Yeah,
Coke, but like okay.
not diet, and because diet's actually worse for you than normal. But we don't want to get into the aspartame and the government trying to kill you with the chemicals. But let's not get into that. Um, Headphone. Can you
So it
still
looks
hear
like that
me?
vodka is really working out for you there,
Yeah,
adulter.
it's working great.
For those of you who just joined us,
But
Jimmy mentioned earlier that he's not really good at adulting. Um, one of the things about being an adult, he claimed that he's not as good at is adulting. We might have evidence of that right now since my partner in crime is just joining us again after recovering from whatever he's drinking. And
I dropped my head. Okay, this is coming from a guy that had technical difficulties for the last, like, for the first half hour of our show.
oh,
Okay,
and we
fight
found out
me.
whose fault that was. Okay,
No,
fuck you, jerky. You know how you know why that
hey,
happened.
watch
So
your mouth. Watch your
yeah,
mouth. We got a nice. Okay, so I digress. So, but I've been doing a lot of these.
yeah, you
Like
digress. You digress a lot.
I know. Okay, but some people call it. I digress, and some people call it squirrel, and I do that too. Um,
Oh, this is
uh,
awesome.
but yeah, no, it's the thing is I started drinking a lot of smoothies lately, like apple juice and stuff like that because I'm trying to eliminate pop. Like that's my biggest thing. Sometimes when I'm hungover, my biggest hangover cure is something with caffeine in it, and usually it's pop, which has a lot of sugar and other stuff in it. And yeah, so
Yeah, because
but I
you're
got one of
talking
those
about
little.
this, and I'm like, you're like, oh, I had like ginger root and cucumber and lemon and water, and I had so much more energy. And I'm like, you fucking drank water with ginger, cucumber, and lime. So that's why I asked the question about, well, what are you replacing it with? Now it makes more sense because if you're starting the day on that garbage sugar rush high thing, whatever it is they do with that, I don't drink the pop, but
There's some people that like when I was working at the radio station, I used to have coffee in the morning because I don't I don't have a coffee maker at the house. I used to go to work and drink coffee for free. So I'd have two coffees in the morning, and now I replaced the coffee with pop, and then now I'm replacing it with something healthy. And then
well,
I
that's
tried to
good.
add alcohol. Then I tried to add alcohol to it, and and this podcast is the result. If you try to do something healthy and decide to add alcohol to it,
But no, hang
you
on though.
get
Yeah, you get jimmied. But listen, uh,
you get jimmied.
yeah, the vodka, vodka is still way better, like calorically than like beer, right?
But
So,
it is, but it hits you. It hits you more.
oh yeah, that yeah, you gotta. Yeah.
Like because we've all done it where you've done shots of anything else and it hits you right away, but then you do like 5 shots of vodka and then the first one kicks in, and then the second one kicks in, and then the third one kicks in, and then you go, "Where are my pants?" Um, like,
Yeah, and then, at least they're having problems with adulting or whatever, right?
yeah, exactly. Like, dude, okay, and you're so good at adulting because we need to talk to your wife about how much adulting you would do without her telling you.
Nobody tells me nothing, kid. Um, so
Uh, okay, okay, Mooney, can you please be an adult and do this? Okay, I digress. Okay,
again,
okay,
do what? Oh, there isn't. There is.
anything.
There is. Okay, so anyway, like just because we said we talk about this, we parked it for this segment ish, but um, so the bottom line is that you're substituting. I don't know, like how many cans of pop would you have, say, from like waking up till noon or two, say.
Three 500 ml, like a bottle
So one and a
a
half
day,
liters of 1.5 liters of, or yeah, 1.5 liters of sugary
a,
pop
a
that
day.
you're replacing with like water and whatever else you want to throw in there.
Yes.
And then I have one other quick question, and that's so like, do you have like ginger root that you got at the store and you grind it, or is it like something different?
Um, I bought ginger root, and it's a pain in the ass to because
Yeah.
you need to peel it. But I buy crushed ginger that you can get at or
Oh, so
minced ginger.
okay.
So you put a teaspoon of ginger in from
So it's
from
just
a
like a
bucket.
spice or whatever that you just sort of add or
No,
whatever.
no, but it's lick. It's okay. Hold that thought. I'm going to show you
But
what I'm talking about.
I was curious. I'm not sure I was that curious, but again, Jimmy's digressing. In an effort
No,
to
but
improve
you
his
brought it up.
adulting, Jimmy's chosen to digress. And so, Ginger, there you go. Oh, so
See,
is it
so
like
this
liquid?
is what's that?
Is it like a paste or what the fuck is that?
It's crushed ginger. So you just take a spoon out, which is like a half a teaspoon is the equivalent of uh, a chunk of ginger.
But it's like a paste, right? Like it's actually
Yeah,
liquid
yeah.
ish. Okay.
No, it's
Like what
liquid-ish.
mustard? Like peanut butter? Like what kind of texture are we talking here?
Mustard.
Okay, gotcha. Not a big fan of ginger, but I like the mint idea.
No, no,
I
but
have.
it does because I looked up the healthy properties of ginger, and it does increase your metabolism. So it does help you um, break down sugars faster. In
Okay.
case you didn't know that, that's called increasing metabolism. Um,
And
but
then the vodka breaks down the mind apparently. So I don't know.
yeah, no,
6
it
of one,
does.
half dozen
That's
of the
why.
other. I don't know.
That's
I'm just
why
saying.
going forward, I'm not going to add ginger to my alcoholic beverages because it obviously messed me up a little bit today. Okay, so we have. I don't even know what we've covered anymore because now, do we want to get into the Trump thing in the Olympics?
I don't know if you want. I I gotta tell you, like I saw the headlines, but I don't know the details because I mean, okay, well let's just throw it around here. Uh, Trump announced that he's assembling a task force to address because the U.S. is hosting the 2028 Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yeah, 2028
Yeah,
in
in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles. Yes.
And LA hosted 84 in my opinion, or my lifetime, because I'm one of those people that just gets locked in with the Olympics. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. I was in Vegas and I was watching like the Canadian beach volleyball team play like at at D in Las Vegas. I'm like, oh, it's on at 1:30. I better get over there because I was locked in. Like that shit is awesome, man. It's such good TV. People you never would have heard of ever, and NBC is really good at storytelling. So that yeah, you see these guys fencing or I don't know, think of a better sport like beach volleyball, and they do a really good job of showing you who's playing. It's kind of like F1. I wouldn't be as
Yeah.
much of an F1 fan as I am now if they didn't have that series and you get to know the drivers a little bit. It's like the more you know somebody, the more skin you have in the game. And
Okay,
anytime that they
but
tell us a story or whatever, you're like, oh, that's so good. Like, anyways, uh, big
but
fan.
that's the question I have. Like, how is driving a car an Olympic sport?
Well, Jimmy, it's not. I was just using that as a comparison. Uh,
Okay.
like you could actually ask the question, how is it a sport? But I mean, honestly, um, like they just finished the Hungary Grand Prix in the F1, and that's like 70 laps. And the amount of, and these guys are in tip top shape. I don't think you could drive one of those cars if you weren't. I mean, the amount of G's these
Yeah.
guys have to endure. I mean, like, I'm like, I get it. That's a sport. No argument here. But yeah, definitely not Olympics. Don't worry. It's all good. It's not.
Okay.
But anyway, love the Olympics. I'm just like, there's so many facets to the games, particularly if you're like the host city or nation.
Yeah.
What is I gotta do a little homework and see what this task force is going to be addressing or what their goals are. Like obviously you have a mission.
Cause I read a little bit. They're working on making sure it's the most secure games, making sure that everybody's safe.
Yep,
Um, and,
huge,
and I'm, and I'm,
huge.
and I'm, and I'm figuring because they're working so far ahead, also the task force is going to be involved in creating the Olympic Park in the area and making sure that all the all the venues are top notch and stuff like that.
No, no, that's different. So I mean, LA was announced years ago, and it's a big deal. Like the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, like they make those decisions way in advance. And part of your bid, because like cities and nations typically, but cities bid um, to get awarded the Olympics because it's a big thing for the economy and it's a feather in your cap as a city and all that stuff. Um, but one of the contingencies is, do you have the facilities to host the thing, right? Like I don't know if you remember, what was it last year? That was in France, and there was fecal matter in the water, and they were going to swim the Seine, and
Oh,
like, but
and they had to do all these structural changes to
yeah,
filter. Yeah.
yeah, so obviously bad planning, but like as far as the venues and like the for the various sporting activities, like that's incumbent upon the state, the city, obviously probably the country to kick in for that if they don't already have infrastructure. But I imagine that wouldn't be as much of an issue. Like the first thing that comes to my mind when you talk about a task force for an event like that is definitely security. Um, and there's a lot to balance there because you don't want to be checking bags for people entering like SoFi Stadium that seats like what 80,000 people, and you've got lineups like 3 hour wait, shit like that. You have to then now I'm starting to figure out, okay, this is I would say way more than the venues that you're talking about, Jimmy, but like how do we process that many people at the gates and ensure that there are no threats, there's no concerns about security, and not delay these people. I mean, I can imagine there's all kinds of technology that they're going to look at, they're going to explore employing to ensure that it's a safe event because man, if you want to do maximum damage to maximum people, that would be the place, man. Like, holy cow.
Actually, you like, yeah, it's crazy with that. But let me
Hey,
ask you a
just
question.
one quick one though. For any of you listening that's curious about what I just talked about with regards to security, on your own time, Google a company called Palantir, who's going to become more and more prominent in the coming years when it comes to national security, because this is all AI identity. Um, this is all NSA shit. That's like, wow, like how much they might know about you. But we'll leave it at that. Google Palantir if you want. But anyway, what did
Okay.
you want to know?
Okay. So when the Olympics came to Calgary in '88, did you go to a game? Did you go to any of
No,
the
no,
events?
no.
I did. I actually saw Sweden and Finland hockey.
You'd have been in high school then, eh?
I was
Yeah.
in grade 9.
Oh, okay, but that's
I
really
was,
cool. But you lived in Tabor, right?
which is from
Two
Calgary,
hours. 2 hours.
and 2.5
Yeah. Um.
ish.
So, was it a school trip or was it like you and your family?
I
Or
it was school.
oh, how cool is that?
Uh, because we did a fundraiser to raise money for us to go, and then
Nice.
like but and it was cool, and it was there's some of it I don't remember, and it's like because it was during the time. Okay, this is going to come across as weird, but where my where I was starting to learn how to use my brain again, because
Yeah.
it was just after my my surgery, that because I when I had the shunt put in, and I
Yeah.
was relearning how to learn. So there's a lot of gray area, like stuff that I kind of remember, but it was cool. Like you go there and you had the mascots and everything.
Yeah. It's
If
a
you can make it, if you can make it to an Olympic event, even just one, it doesn't matter if it's even your country, just go to one. It's cool. Like it's a totally different feeling when you're walking through the crowd and people are talking different languages, and it's just you, like, if you're not a traveler, like, it's weird. Like you're walking around, and they're just,
it's like it's the
you feel it, you feel like the world is a community when you go
yeah.
to something like that.
I was gonna say it's the
And
global community writ large, like right in front of your eyes, right?
like you see people, and like that you would never see before. Like it's it's something else.
Well, we talked about earlier about um, well, what's your definition of success for this little podcast we got going? Which, by the way, folks, not for nothing, but we're in episode 7, and I look forward to it every week talking to this bastard. Um, like the definition of
It's at a
success.
goal. I'm not a bastard. My parents were married.
Yeah. But, uh, we're marketing or whatever. I don't really care about that stuff, but I digress like Jimmy does all the time. Um, one of the things that I've heard a lot about is like the Spengler Cup. It happens over Christmas in Davos in Switzerland, and um, the people that have gone to that, and it's basically um, like a club championship of European clubs, but with um, the best players on Canada and the U.S. from their respective teams playing for Canada and the U.S. and or the best players. Anyway, look it up, folks. But you see pictures and it just looks so glorious. It's like Switzerland in at Christmas, and people going to a hockey game, and you see the European approach to watching hockey and being fans and stuff. I think that's something that I'd like to do. Before they pull the plug or whatever. But just being part of a global sports kind of idea, community, whatever. Few things better. One of them is talking to you. So what do you got next, kid?
Okay, so we have been rambling today. Oh, okay, sorry, I have been rambling. Okay, but I wanted to touch on something. So I want to touch on the fact that
Like touch
in
or ramble about something, just to
no,
prepare the audience.
I
Do
want
you want
your
to touch on
feedback.
it,
I
or
want
do you
your
want to
feedback on
ramble about
something.
it?
So so every year for the last probably about 10 years, I've been part of this golf tournament. It's called the Frontline Celebrity Golf Classic, where it raises funds for the Edmonton Garrison Military Family Resource Center, the EMS Association, as well as shit. Okay,
Oh
never
no,
mind.
that's
I'm not gonna say
that's a mouthful
like
already.
there's three charities involved, and I'm
Edmonton
not gonna be
Garrison
able to use
Family
this as a
Resource.
promo for it. So what it
Edmonton
is,
Garrison. Hang on a sec. Just stop for a sec. Maybe you'll recall the third one. I don't care even, but like Edmonton Garrison Family Resource. We were just talking about the baseball guys. They go from like September to, or sorry, May to October potentially. How about if your husband, father, brother, um, son is deployed for a year, and they're not; these boys are not making 35 million a year that Vladdy does. With time to come home. From the time like half the games are at home. Boy, Family Resource Center, like sign me up to support those guys.
oh,
Who else is part of that front lines?
it's the EMS Association as well as Edmonton Search and Rescue. So it's so it's Edmonton Family Military Resource Center, Edmonton Search and Rescue, as well as the EMS. And
And
I'm in the dunk tank.
you can talk a lot
Okay, I'm
about your support that the EMS has given you, and even search and rescue. Like sometimes when you've had the vodkas and you wander off or whatever, and I have to
I
call
never
them.
wander. I always end up on Linton Pass. But that's not the point. No, here's the thing. So
You're
I
part of
do this
this
golf
golf
tournament.
tournament. Yeah.
It's a golf tournament. I've been raising funds for them for years, and the thing is I do a dunk tank, and we raise like like at least 1,500, if not more, from people dunking my short ass. And by the way, I am mean when I'm in there. I'm not nice. And
They picked the
the
right
thing
guy. They
is,
picked the right guy. I mean, like now that I know,
yeah, I'm not
did
as
you
mean
say
as you.
1,500?
Like,
1,500? I'm like, bring me and you'll get 3 grand. Like any chance I get, man. I'm gonna
I'll
be working.
I'll
Like
call a guy
I'm gonna be
and see if he can
practicing.
get you in the tournament.
I'm gonna be practicing so hard that I'm gonna need Tommy John surgery after for the dunk tank.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is the first year that I've ever been part of the tournament where I haven't been part of radio. And with the fact that and so everybody knows I volunteer to be part of the dunk tank. No one's making me do it. It's nothing. It's all, hey, we can raise money by dunking me. And we do it. And so in previous years, they've given advertising for the radio station I used to work for, 95.7 Cruise FM. And then, and then this year they're like, hey, is there anything that you want to say in an ad, like to kind of promote something that you're doing? So one of the big things I pushed, one, I actually did push the Bald and Short of It podcast, which will be on the ad that will be in the golf guide. But I also pushed one thing that means a lot to me, and that's Pink Shirt Day. And that's talking to kids about bullying. I've been doing Pink Shirt Day for at least 9 years.
Wow, that
And
long. Eh?
it, it's, and I remember most of them. And, but the thing is though, is it means a lot to me. And so I mentioned that, okay, I'm going to be talking to kids about bullying in February. And where the dilemma came up was between me and Mooney, because Mooney's like, okay, you're getting people to dunk you, but you're promoting not bullying. Let me before you even say a word, Mooney. I know, yeah, like, dude, you're covering your face. You're trying not to laugh. But here's the thing: I am not made to do the dunk tank. I do it voluntarily. Why? Because I'm an entertainer. I'm out there to promote myself. I promote my podcast and also promote my mission in life. And that is to help people deal with bullying. And when I volunteer to do stuff like that, and people are actually dunking me, I don't see it as a form of bullying. It is actually a way of promoting what it is that means most to me, and that's to help kids. Because I didn't have kids, or okay, let me rephrase that. I did not have people that helped me as much as my family did. I didn't have people like growing up that I knew about that um, told me I was okay
Yeah, like
being the way I was.
if I can throw in on that one, I have a lot of. I'm definitely gonna hammer you when I'm done this part, but like when my kids were little, and um, and they had like a good game, or they did something really well. I always made sure that like their grandparents or somebody like a buddy that came to the game or whatever, like said I have all my fraternity friends or whatever, that they give them the positive feedback that I would typically give them. Because if you're a kid, regardless of your circumstances, when it's your parent telling you you're great, the first impulse after a few years and you start figuring out is, well, yeah, of course you're supposed to say that you're my parent. So, not that they don't mean well and not that you don't love them for wanting the best for you and giving you the maximum encouragement. Hearing it from a third party is where it really starts to go, well, wait a minute. It wasn't just my parents who have an ulterior motive. They're always going to say that. It's somebody else. And I think that's maybe what you mean about the third party or someone going, hey, you're doing all right, kid, or we've been through it and here's how you cope. I'll let you have that one
But
because I'm queuing up because I'm coming after you. Go on.
but the thing is, though, is one thing that you said is, okay, you're promoting talking about bullying in a dunk tank when
Okay.
a bunch of tall
Do you
people,
want me?
when a
Do you
bunch
want
of,
me
when
to?
a bunch of tall people, when a bunch of tall people are trying to dunk you, and because
I'm
we
not.
had this conversation,
I'm not
and
even being critical. I'm not being critical.
it's, but, but the thing is, though, is I was not forced to be part of that dunk tank. I chose to be part of that because we raise money for charity. And that's all I worry about
But
is doing that. But also, I
I'm a good
with the
person.
with
I'm a good
just
person.
shut your pie hole. Shut it. Wait till I finish speaking. Okay, because here's the thing. The thing is, okay, shut it. Why are you laughing?
Lots of reasons, but
No,
go on.
but
I'm shutting my pie hole.
okay, but the thing is, though, is I totally lost track of where I was going. Oh, this is we're gonna have to cut some of this shit out.
No, we're not.
Um,
Listen. We don't cut, folks. This is all unadulterated. One of the things that I was really impressed by, Jimmy, earlier is you said, I do things for me, I do things for podcasts and the charities. A little bit. Go back
I
to
didn't do that.
it's fucking hilarious. I know you don't mean it like that, but I had to come after you. You watch the replay someday or whatever, you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, listen,
Oh, I'm gonna be editing the shit out of this one.
we we talked about. You showed me the brochure that they hand out for the golf tournament, and like I said, folks, like the frontline outfit and the things that they raise money for is worthwhile as it gets. Um, if there's any spots left, go grab them up. It'll be a good time. Not to mention that you got Jimmy in the dunk tank. I know I'm going now. Tommy John and all. I don't care what I do. That kid's going down, down like Charlie Brown. But uh, we did talk about it on Sunday. I think it was maybe earlier because it might surprise you. This guy and I hang out outside of this little venue, but he basically told me the same thing he said like the last 5 or 10 minutes. I well, I want to support the podcast. I want to support, but I'm very passionate about the pink shirt and the anti-bullying because of what he went through. And God love Jimmy. I wish that we were friends sincerely. Forever. Like because I know for sure that I would have been able to help him, like, or at least would have wanted to. But that aside, it's not about I'm an advocate for anti-bullying. I volunteered for the drunk tank because it raises money. Haha! If you hate midgets, the joke's on you. Like, I'm talking about the messaging. Okay, so like just the mess, like to the person off the street, they don't know you from jack shit. They don't know you from Adam. They don't know anything about Jimmy. And
Uh,
Jimmy says,
but they do.
and it's like hole 16, dunk a midget. Meanwhile, don't bully.
But with the fact
See
that
what
I've
tell me.
done,
And I tell me like the messaging is just maybe a little askew.
that it might be to you, but with the fact that a lot of the people that do this golf tournament every year have known I've been there for at least 9 years at that hole
All right.
doing something.
All right, so I'm visiting from like Ohio, and my buddy's like, "Oh, I'm just glad that you and Karen are in town to spend time with the in-laws or whatever." And hey, by the way, I got you a ticket for this golf tournament I'm in. Like let's go. And then it's like hole 16, and it's like, "Oh, look at this! You can dunk a midget." And then you go to the table, and it says anti-bullying. So if I'm this guy from Ohio, I'm like, "Okay, so wait a minute.
No, no,
You want
it's
me to give money to dunk a midget, but then it's supporting anti-bullying?" What kind of
okay.
place?
If you put it that way, if you put it that way, yes, it sounds a little off. But on a different note,
Best podcast ever.
this, oh, I'm going to have a hard time with this podcast in edit mode. Um, but I don't edit anything, I promise. Um,
you,
okay,
you
I get it. But okay, so that is the bald and short of it podcast, folks. I'm
no, no,
Jimmy,
no, no,
and uh,
no,
I'm
no,
Jimmy.
no.
That's Mooney.